Welcome. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Hi. Welcome. Hello. Hi. I had different plans for this video, but life happens, and I went to an estate sale and everything changed. First of all, this estate sale was right down the road, and I'm surprised I wasn't friends with this person. They had Victorian clothing, real Victorian clothing, insane. Got to touch it. And wonderful old books, beautiful tablecloths and napkins, all sorts of things. Real artwork that was beautiful. Anyways, so I of course got some big books I will share for you guys. This one is called The Printmakers to the American People. Looked interesting. I mostly was interested in the prints with ladies and their fashion, but it is a wide variety. Then I got this book. It is the National Gallery of Art, Washington. It was like $4. Also, I got the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Again, around $4. But the creme de la creme is this magazine. I found this magazine with several other magazines in a pile. It was mostly like magazines and catalogs from the 1950s. Beautiful, very interesting. Not necessarily what I want in a collection from magazines, but this one I found, and it's kind of rough and it's not doing so good. This one caught my eye because it is from 1939 and it's from France. On top of it, it's called L'Illustration, like the illustration, and it was printed or distributed in 1939 during the Christmas holidays, so Noel, so the Noel edition. It was 20 francs. So you can see it is in pretty rough shape, but I thought we could just flip through this little amazing magazine. That is what we're going to do today. So, again, I found this kind of amongst all the different magazines that were in this lady's house, and this one was priced at $6, and you can see it's not in the best shape. The binding is coming apart and it's got some stains, and it's definitely been in a very wet atmosphere, but I'm really curious about how it got to Tennessee. It is from France, and I knew that immediately because of the title and the use of Noel. And this was such an amazing find for me. I was with my mom, and my grandmother actually lived in France. She was French, duh, and she lived through World War II, and this is right before Germany took over France. So my grandmother was about 10 years old at this point. So this is pretty interesting for me personally. And this magazine is just the Christmas before everything changed, perhaps for the people in France. So I'm interested in it. And my mom was really pleased to find this too. She thought this was the best thing that we found in a long time at an estate sale. So I wanted to go through this carefully. That way I can refer to this video if I want to see anything in this again, and also to protect it and not open it as much anymore. So this is kind of a documentary of what this is. I have found some of these online for about $50, $70, but they were in a lot better shape than this one, and I am just going to try to preserve this as well as I can because I do think it's quite beautiful. Also, I have gloves on, not because I'm protecting the book. I have no idea what I'm doing, but more so because my hands are ugly right now. Yeah, and I don't feel like fixing them. So I got gloves for some vibes and to maybe protect the book a little bit. I'm not sure. Here it looks kind of like it is how to subscribe to the magazine, and the first few pages seems to be mostly a advertisement area. So this one says December 16th. Skip the page. When I first saw this page, I said, wow, these watches are still really popular and beautiful today. And my mom said, well, duh, it's a Rolex. So these are the Rolex. I wonder if they're expensive back then. I bet they were. This was an expensive magazine, so maybe they're geared towards people with money. Perfume and vacation, perhaps. That's just, that's a gun. I don't really know if when the gun laws came about in France, but this is interesting. Decor. Oh look, this is like a lady looking at her bow. Look at this exercise museum. Look at that. Is that like an exercise? All sorts of weird contraptions. Something about the books of the year, maybe? Little Princess with Shirley Temple. My grandmother always loved Shirley Temple, maybe because that was the child star of the time. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know anything else though. Sheep. Chocolates and candies. Look at that. Huh. So I think this is the start of the magazine. And again, I'm not quite fluent enough to be an expert on reading all of this. This is quite overwhelming for me and my skill level with French, but I kind of get the gist of it. The paper is a lot thicker here too, and this is about, you know, our great chiefs, our great generals. So it looks like this is a picture of different generals, and oh, look at this, Amiens and Paris. So I studied abroad in Amiens. So there's Germany. So I think they're talking about World War I, actually, and not World War II. The Great War is what they would have called it. So this is interesting. And I am no expert on World War I or II at all. I have no idea who these generals are. I do know there was a lot of fighting in Amiens. This is interesting. And these pictures kind of peel up. It's probably just age with glue over time. And so this is interesting that these were actually glued in place and not printed. And the paper is really thick, almost like a mat board. And the gold is shiny. Oh, you can really see how it's glued on. So here are more leaders, all with this thick paper and glued separately on. So yeah, I definitely want to keep this closed. And more, I guess, words about the First War, because France was not yet in World War II at this point. Only England, I think, had declared war. I'm not quite sure. Here's lovely Cézanne. So this is perhaps about this artist. And again, this has been pasted down. And I can kind of see the tarnish over time, but the gold paint has survived really well. It's really beautiful. I don't know if this like grain on the edges is original or not, but the paper is quite thick. And then there's like these thinner, beautifully printed. They're still really beautiful prints of the paintings, really high quality. I wonder if they were put in a magazine like this so that they could have this nicer paper, or even because you could buy this magazine and perhaps even take these pictures out and put them into a frame. I don't know. They're very nice. Beautiful colors. Still. Okay. And here is different paper. Not as thick. But this is about the Bayeux Tapestry. The beautiful days of the tapestry. I know that's the Bayeux Tapestry above. And yeah, here we go. Yeah, Tapestry de Bayeux. Scenes of the conquest of England by, I'm not sure who that is. Gilliam? Is that who they call William the Conqueror? Is that the French name for William the Conqueror? That's crazy. And you can go see the Bayou Tapestry. It's in really good shape. Oh, and here's more tapestries. Not quite sure about these. I've never seen these before, but there's a dragon and a beast with 7 heads. And tells you where it's at. Interesting. Yeah, tapestries are a lost art. We found different ways to keep our house warm. Oh, look at this one. Yep, this is in the museum in Paris. Musée de Coligny. It's like the medieval museum. It's nice. These are very well printed, and it's just a really well curated and presented magazine, even from today's standards. And the paper is super thick. I'm so used to like thin paper, even from the 70s and 50s. Passion of Christ. Wow. And I bet it's shiny. Oop, there it goes. It's nice. Okay. More about the tapestries. Wow. And you can kind of see the ink from the side. Oh, and here is an artist, Marie Laurenchin. I've never heard of this artist. It looks like this might be a new artist, not like Cézanne. So it's created. So Marie Laurencin created a new world, a feminine world. Young girls. Okay. It looks like this is a fairly new and upcoming artist. Perhaps, yeah. So this art was made in the late 20s. So it's not that old. And all of this gold is beautiful. And this one doesn't come up. So these are printed on the paper. Oh, this is beautiful. I'll have to look up this artist. Nice. And yeah, you can really see here on this page kind of like the water damage over time. So I'm just going to try to prevent that from decaying further. And this is, it looks like something, confrontation of the German and the civilization. So they're definitely talking about Germany. Oh, this is a lot. How Germany entered in war, the crime committed on Europe, maybe? Wow, this is talking about a lot. I see Russia and Poland, Germany. Wow, this is talking about a lot that's been going on. Autumn, the tragic last weeks of autumn. Or, yeah. August. Oh my god. August. The Furor. Oh. Yeah, Britain and... Wow. So yeah, they're definitely talking about Britain and Germany being against each other right now and at war. I wonder how worried they were in writing this. There's a lot going on here. Wow, they're talking about a lot of different countries over here. This has, Hitler said to me, the question of money. And then we've got a picture. Wow. The invasion of Latin America. Wow. There's a lot going on. Well, this is interesting. The Swiss Army, which I thought the Swiss Army was a neutral army, but I'm not quite sure what's going on here. So, the creations of a women group. So these are women in uniform. Look at them. They're walking in. Then the arrival. And then them training and being in school. Wow. Looks like it says the nursing course. The nursing professor. Not quite sure. But they're training right here. They've got little outfits on and boots. They're ready to go. Oh, wow. They're definitely prepping. Which, this is interesting because I don't know if this is France and they were showing what they were doing and they were proud of it so that maybe there wouldn't be an attack on them. I'm not sure. It's interesting. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got some planes being taken down here. Maybe these were planes in France. Yes. German planes crashing maybe in France. Yeah, wow. So they're investigating these German machinery. And I do remember my grandmother talking about the invasion, and they came from the sky. So this is definitely a concern. Huh. Okay, this is changing paper to thicker paper again. And something, the reopening of the School of the Louvre. So we've got some drawings here. Oh, hi, Mike. You want to come down here? Lay down with me? Mines. Oh. New technology. This British mine. So they're talking about Britain here. their minds. Okay. And this is the king. I didn't notice this the first time I flipped through it. The King George the Sixth in the trenches, visiting the front, and the king looking at the soldiers. Well, that's cool. Looks like at the very end here we can see some staples, but it looks like this outer shell was glued. And this is prisoners of war, German prisoners in France. Interesting. And here is some more advertisements. It doesn't look like anything too interesting. There's the perfect nose. I don't know what it's trying to do. Okay. There's a blotter. Interesting. Wine, cognac. Interesting. Oh, cigarettes. The American taste. Wow. And then the back is, I don't know what it is. They selling skins? I don't know. Anyways, so this was the treasure that I found for $6 at an estate sale. I really hope to just keep it as a primary source if I ever want to look through it and perhaps even read some of this. I am wanting to improve my French a bit more, and it's things like this that I get so excited about. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not in the best shape, but I think this is definitely worth more than $6 to me, and I don't know how to keep it safe, but I'll see what I can make of it to keep it protected for future generations of enthusiasts like me. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any tips for protecting old magazines like this, please tell me, help me out. And did you see anything that was interesting, or are you a history buff and you know more about World War I than I, or World War I and World War II than I do? And do you have any magazine collections? I have a few, but this is the oldest one I've ever seen and touched and have on my shelf. But thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. And Mike is laying down right beside me.